Ah, hello everyone. It's Ian from Cromford Collector's Corner. I'm here today with a little bit of one of these weekly sort of catch-ups that I'm doing about the latest episodes of Doctor Who. So this one was Dot and Bubble. I'm going to talk about that. If you've not seen it, go and watch that now, and then come back to me. So for those of you that don't know me, I am a sole trader. I'm a very small comic shop in a semi-rural location in Derbyshire in the UK, and I love all sorts of things. I'm a comic book fan, and I'm a fan of Doctor Who, and I'm a fan of sci-fi in general, and horror, and all sorts of stuff. But I thought I would share some thoughts on this episode. So generally, so you know, I've been a Doctor Who fan all my life, from the 70s onwards, and I've seen peaks and troughs in the show, and but I've always loved it, and I'm sure I always will. What you won't hear from me, guys, is a lot of sort of negative criticism, because I'm not really like that. Generally, as a rule, I like to try and be positive about things. And if there are things that personally I don't really like, then I probably just won't talk about it. But nevertheless, I would love to share my opinions on Dot and Bubble because I really enjoyed it. I really liked 73 Yards the other week, and I love Dot and Bubble. I thought it did have shades of Black Mirror, that I know Russell Davies has spoken about. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. For me, it had elements of both the old and the new show. And it's really interesting for me. I mentioned the other day that in my business, I meet all sorts of Doctor Who fans, from very little all the way to not so little, all different eras, and everyone has their Doctor. And so I think that's really important. What I do see is quite a lot of people that might not remember the actual episode, but they will remember something specific about it. Oh yeah, when this happened, and I always remember it. You know, and that is something that is quintessentially Doctor Who. So again, obviously spoilers. There was something in this episode that harked back for me personally to very much to old school Who, and that was the slug creatures. Firstly, it did very much bring to mind. I'm not sure if this is intentional, but for me, it brought to mind Dave Gibbons' artwork on the Iron Legion, in which there is a giant sort of slug type creature that attacks the Fourth Doctor. And the slug creatures really did remind me of that. I don't know if that was a point of reference. I'm not sure. But yeah, there were other things. So one of the things that a lot of the time people say to me is they remember certain moments. So one of the really common moments that people mention to me is the maggots in the Green Death. Another one would be the arc in space when the guy transforms in bubble wrap, but transforms into the Wirren, and I think it's the Wirren anyway, and it is in the arc in space, and Syl, and there are quite a few times that slug-like creatures have been in it, and they do tend to stick in people's memories. What I also think is quite clever, and I'm not sure again whether this is intentional, but kids go back to school on Monday, tomorrow morning, and I can't help but think that he has thought, yeah, I'm going to put slugs in, and they're going to talk about that in the playground. And I hope so, because for me, this is what Doctor Who's all about. I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I thought it was a very clever combination of both old school and new. There was a couple of moments when they were on the video call and the monster kind of shuffled down in the background and ate them. That to me was just like really old school Doctor Who. And again, I'm sure there's a lot of younger viewers that will have hit home. I also think, obviously, the more serious elements of this story also, I hope, hit home with a younger generation. This kind of self-obsessed kind of nature of some elements that I see on social media. And obviously the racism thing, which had to do something with that, and I thought that was really good. I thought it was really dark, but in a really good way. So I thought that was great. Yeah, I also noticed there were a couple of other things that I did notice that I thought are worth mentioning. I also noticed that for the first time there was a recognition of the Susan Twist actress or character, that Ruby said she recognised her in that moment. I thought it was quite funny because I don't know if you've read this, but Russell Davies has said that something to do with that there was a problem with equity and he's not been able to cast more people in like minor roles. Now, my partner is an actress, and I can tell you that there are lots of actresses out there that would give their right arm to be in Doctor Who. So I'm not sure about that. And there's the twist at the end song, and she's been in every episode, or nearly every episode. It's got to mean something, hasn't it? It's got to mean something. Yeah, I thought the end was really cool, and yeah, they're quite dark. But I thought, you know, even though she was awful and racist and terrible towards him, that he still kind of tried to save them. I thought how much the show has changed in that moment, because I think back to old school Who, and sure, you know, at different times he's very compassionate, but at other times he is not compassionate at all. I think specifically back to Galaxy 4, if you know that story with William Hartnell, and he basically just leaves them all to die at the end without really even a thought of it. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Yeah, so that was my thoughts on this episode of Doctor Who. I generally really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Yeah, really well written. Murray Gold's music was beautiful. I thought Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson again were great. Interesting to see that it was almost sort of Doctor Light again. It reminded me a little bit of Blink when they're kind of sending messages backwards and forwards. Yeah, I thought that was really clever. Sure, it won't be for everybody, but then, you know, I'm not sure that it's always going to be the way. I always am interested to know when I meet a lot of children, well, I meet some children in my business, and I'm always interested to see their reactions to it, because I was 10 once, and I think if I'd have watched that episode, I would have loved that, but been scared by it, but also loved it. So yeah, I think Russell Davies's genius intention is to get people talking about Doctor Who, and I am sure that will make people talk about it. So well done, Russell Davies, and thank you very much, everybody, for watching. If you do want to like and subscribe to this video, that would be super cool. And if you need anything, you can Google Cromford Comic Shop, or contact Dalek Zen on Facebook. I'm on Instagram as secondhandgeekery, or leave a comment on here, because I will see that. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it, and you all take care, okay? See you later. Bye.